Danielle Farrell landed her dream job when she became the head designer for the well-known vintage rock and roll band clothing line Chaser brand. Danielle spills the beans on the names she gets to design clothing for, like Blondie, AC/DC, Grateful Dead, Pink Floyd, Janis Joplin, Guns N' Roses, and the new connections they now have with the one and only Elvis. She is now on to fall, holiday, and spring lines. So, let's get to business. Hey guys, this is Tatiana Ryan, your host, and I am here today with Danielle Farrell, the head of design for Chaser brand. How are you today, Danielle?
I'm doing great, Tatiana. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So let's dive into what is Chaser brand. You guys are a really, really edgy rock and roll brand of clothing that started in like 1988, but you keep all this fashion that's like all of these throwback bands and everything very youthful.
So, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity as the head of design here at Chaser Brand. I grew up in San Francisco, where classic rock and live music were a really big part of my upbringing. So, having the honor of being able to innovate new designs for all my favorite bands is just unreal. Recently, I've been experimenting with not only designing more creative t-shirt bodies, obviously inspired by vintage, authentic tees, but making them in our signature butter soft fabric qualities that feel vintage, but have a fresh look. It's just been an honor, like getting super creative, and I've been trying out these like new sweater knits, like this Grateful Dead Steely sweater I'm wearing right now. That was in my fall collection, and it's fun, creating these styles that feel vintage but are new and hopefully, feel super special to customers that they just want to keep in their closets forever.
Well, you said making them feel special. All of these logos and these bands and throwback, they always feeling of good times and everything, and you can actually wear them and carry it around.
Exactly. I really spend so much time digging and hunting and going to every vintage flea market and going through Etsy or eBay and really to find the most like vintage treasured t-shirts, and then like recreating them in our own way has been it's been a challenge. Like I'm new to graphic design, but we're really creating some cool styles that feel authentic and true to the music, but like in our own fresh way.
Now, how did you get your job itself?
So Chaser brand, it's funny, I've been wearing the brand for so long, and I remember I worked at the store in Abbot Kinney, and I recently uncovered this photo of me wearing Chaser, and it's just like so full circle because my bosses found me through a recruiter, but when the opportunity arose, I just was like, this is so like full circle, meant to be. I've always designed clothing that's kind of rock and roll influence, so it was just like the perfect match, and I'm so happy to be here.
When you design t-shirts, it's very vintage and throwback, but as the times change and we grow with new bands coming out that are now like the 90s are like old times now.
That's insane. I'm a 90s baby.
Yeah, are you going to start incorporating some of those bands?
It's actually funny, me and my boss had a meeting at Universal Records like earlier, or I guess it was last year, but we talked about it, and that's definitely on the horizons. But we did just sign a big deal with the Rolling Stones, Elvis, the Beatles, Guns N' Roses, Willie Nelson, and Black Sabbath. So I'm really like having the best time doing that right now, and there's going to be some really special styles coming out for those bands, but the 90s and 2000s are definitely on the horizon.
Well, let's talk about the fall lookbook. I did notice that, and the holiday lookbook is a lot different than the edginess. But the fall, tell us a little bit about that one.
So it's really rock and like very rock. It's actually, we shot Grace McKagan, who is the daughter of Guns N' Roses bassist Duff McKagan. And we shot at the iconic legendary Troubadour in West Hollywood. So it just was like so authentic and so, she was a dream and it turned out really edgy and cool. But going forward, the holiday, it's the voice of Chaser really starts to become a bit more clear. Like that was really only like my third or fourth collection. I've already designed like 10. So you'll start to see that the brand is like still rock and roll influence, but a lot more like just essential fabrics and t-shirt bodies that feel different and cool, but really are just like staples in your closet. And so we're like an essentials line and influenced by rock and roll.
Now, being on the West Coast and the influence being from music and the trends are constantly changing there, but your range in clothing can really be for anyone. You do have like a little bit more businessy type of stuff in there. You have athletic stuff in there. You've got a little bit for everyone.
Yeah. So we always say we do wear a lot of hats here at Chaser. And I'm just someone that like, it's kind of been interesting designing here because I've just been experimenting really as to like what the customer at Chaser really like comes to us for. And so yes, like as you've seen, I definitely have been doing a bit of everything, but going forward, it's really going to be more like I found the fabrics that are doing really well, and I'm just going to expand on that. And so you'll see a lot more like elevated essentials and that cater both to like a young and older audience. So I'm really working hard to make sure it caters to everyone.
You brought up the fabrics and looking at the spring lookbook and what you had just said about the new deals with the different bands and like a lot of Elvis stuff in there and the fabrics themselves. You have a lot of velvet. And what gave you the inspiration to pull some of the more unusual fabrics you may not really see?
So I for the spring shoot, I just read the book Elvis and Me by Priscilla Presley. So that was the inspiration behind that shoot. And yeah, I definitely experimented a lot with like studs and so it's like still like really comfy classic Chaser fabrics, but then making them just more special and that they really stand out more than what you see a lot out there.
Do you pull a lot from pop culture itself also, like with the Elvis thing coming out and movies coming out and things like that?
Yeah, I always say as a designer, I'm inspired by everything. Like I'm just constantly looking at social media or watching, movies and reading magazines, going through vintage anything and everything. So yes, I'm heavily influenced by the media or pop culture and
Chaser isn't just found on Chaser brand itself. You guys are now expanding onto different platforms, correct?
Yeah, it's been really exciting. The Revolve buyers have been buying a lot from our lines, and as recently we just got on, or we're going to be on Free People soon, and Newly is their rental platform as well, which is they've been ordering a lot of stuff for Chaser.
That's totally awesome because once you get involved with Revolve and everything, you do like the festivals and stuff. So how exciting are you to be on this new horizon?
I'm so excited. And it was just the other day, actually, I guess one of my sweatpants, I did like a cargo sweatpant. It sold out in like a day. So that was really exciting. And it's just, definitely, I can't wait to just keep getting like bigger and bigger. And we'll definitely have a lot more on the site.
Let's go back to the fall shoot with Grace McKagan and dealing with big names like that you're having access to use as models and growing up in the whole music industry, as you said, where you're at.
Do you ever get like this surreal feeling like, oh my gosh, I made it, my goals?
Yeah, totally. It's like so crazy because I grew up going to, well, actually, I'm from Northern California where the Grateful Dead, they like a lot of the band members lived and played all the time casually. They have like a few rock and roll concert venues there. So like I always grew up going, and that music was just such a big part of my upbringing. So to be able to like design for them now is just like unreal. I'm so honored, and I'm making some really special styles. So it's really exciting.
You not only have a lot of Grateful Dead, you have a ton, which I love, of Pink Floyd,
Yeah.
AC/DC,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the harder rock.
Now like the Rolling Stones, like it's just like unreal.
Are you hoping to actually connect with the Rolling Stones and have them on a shoot or something?
Right. That I would love that. I just saw their new music video with Sydney Sweeney, who I love. So it's just pretty crazy. And Elvis, and then Guns N' Roses is awesome, and the Beatles. It's like really crazy to think about. I'm so honored.
Let's talk about the holiday, winter, because that's like, it's so cozy. I'm wearing a Chaser t-shirt right now and I love it. It's kind of gloomy here today, so my sweatshirt is like, yes.
I know, I live in that one.
Now, what did you look at for the holiday? Because like I said, it's still got that edginess to it, but it's a lot more cozy. It's like
Yeah,
Christmas morning.
exactly. Like that was kind of the collection where it all clicked. And I when I first started, I was like I said, experimenting with everything, and that collection was just like, okay, like let's do more. Like Chaser's known for obviously like loungewear and t-shirts, and I wanted to do that. My specialty is like dresses and blouses, so that was the collection where I really was like, oh, like how can I take what that skill of mine and make it just more um casual and comfortable, but still dressy and elevated. So that was really, the colors were really fun for that too. And I love that shoe. It still felt like rock and roll, but just a lot more simple as compared to fall. But I actually really loved how that shoot turned out.
Now, your Instagram is very interesting to look at it because it is you totally,
Yeah.
like going to all these events and dressing up. And as you said, your style is very girly.
Yeah.
It's-
My style is very eccentric. Growing up in San Francisco, I'm like I said, I'm so influenced by everything that, yeah, one day I'm into this or one day I'm into that. But recently it's been a lot more just like black and rock and roll, and it's been really cool. And that's definitely Chaser. And our Instagram has been evolving too. And yeah, so it's all starting to look really cool, and I'm really excited about it.
What's been your favorite event to go to so far since you've been with Chaser?
Event for music or
Yeah, or
uh,
anything that they've done.
we actually, my boss got me tickets to go to Coachella this year, and I've gone for years, but it was really special because Blondie was playing, and I that was one of the first bands I designed for here at Chase, or yeah, when I first started. So that was really cool to see her. And yeah, just was like super surreal to like think like, oh, I designed for her, such a legend, and so many more. But it was really cool to see her in person and represent Chaser.
Did you get to meet her, hopefully?
No, but I wore Blondie tee that I designed with that she like, which is really cool. She's personally, I think, approves all the designs herself. So that was really cool to.
Oh, that's totally neat to know that they like everything gets back to them and they actually
Yeah.
approve things.
Yeah. That's what's pretty trippy to think about too. And I know Guns N' Roses is really involved in that, Blondie. And then we just signed a deal with Black Sabbath too, and which I'm a huge fan of. And I guess, yeah, they like personally look at everything. So it's really cool.
That's awesome. That is so cool to hear that you have your dream job and you're actually designing all of these different rock and roll. Well, not only just rock and roll too, but all these other looks for people to wear. How do you feel when you see somebody wearing those looks?
It's really special because it's I put so much time and energy, and it's a lot of work, but I absolutely love it. And it just makes it all worth it when when you think like, oh wow, people are like buying my stuff to put in stores and wear, and it's just really, it's so amazing.
Now, what stores can people buy Chaser at?
So we are a big boutique brand. So we're in boutiques all over the United States and even in Europe. And we're also obviously on Revolve, Free People, Newly, Bloomingdale, Saks. And yeah, you can find us pretty much like we're in stores everywhere.
How does it feel to walk into a Bloomingdale's or Saks and see your designs in there?
I know we did like an après-ski capsule last year, which did really well in Bloomy. So that it's just so special. I mean, my mom grew up shopping there, so it's so exciting.
So basically, everybody can go to either Chaser brand or to Revolve or any of the other ones that you just mentioned. Where can people find you on social media?
Chaser brand or me?
Both.
So Chaser brand is just Chaser brand, and then I'm just at Danielle Farrell with an underscore at the end.
So they can go see your fashion and your wild adventures to all different kinds of concerts and everything.
Exactly.
Danielle, thank you so much for being here. I so greatly appreciate explaining not only what you do as a head designer, but how much of a reach you have with people.
Well, I really appreciate it. It's an honor talking to you, and thank you so much for taking the time.
No problem. I'm Tatiana Ryan. This is the Businessy Podcast. This is Danielle Farrell with Chaser Brand.
Thank you guys.